Sir, whenever I travel abroad, I always come back with a more mature person, more knowledgeable person. So is it true for the education as well that the exposure will bring more better among you? Why I'm asking this question? Because a lot of MB colleges have this program for sending students abroad, international immersion programs. So how helpful they will be in my studies from the MB point of view? So we'll start with the background first.
Okay, actually, I think you started with an international point, and I feel my education was determined based on that. My initial career was, or educational career was in IIT Bombay. I spent both my BTech and MTech in IIT Bombay, and then I had gone abroad to the US. I was actually working there with Deloitte Consulting, and after 3 years, I went to Carnegie Mellon, US, and that made a huge difference in the way, because it became a very global exposure, and I started looking at what are the next opportunities. And one of the opportunities I found was education in India itself, and that is how I came back to India and started the B School back in 2006. And it's been 18 years of journey, and it's been wonderful. I think ISME, as the name stands, it's known as International School of Management Excellence. The two big words which we have is international and excellence, and both where we believe in. International because of not just me, I have a very international background, both not only living and working abroad, but beyond me, many of our faculty, and you have met a few of them, our dean, many of our heads, our principals, and many of our faculty have lived and worked abroad. And I think that makes a big difference, because then you set up a culture which is global. And today, to be successful, you have to be having a global perspective. The other word which we have is excellence, and excellence is something we actually, ISME was founded, our parent body is an ISO 9000 certification body, which is again a global certification body. It operates in 36 countries. And that quality aspect and excellence, in my mind, is an excellence of experience. Education is an experience. And I have experienced that education not only in IIT Bombay, in Carnegie Mellon, and more recently I did my PhD. As you know, I completed my PhD from IIM Lucknow. And that is the kind of experience through excellence in education which we want to bring in ISME, which we have been successful. Our students have really benefited from both the global aspect of it, which is the international, and also the quality and the experience of being in such a dynamic corporate like international environment within an ISME Bangalore.
Correct. So now come to the second part. It's that I'm doing my study, my MBA. I'm focused on getting a job in Deloitte or KPMG, all the good companies coming on campus. So how this international exposure will help me?
Good question. So see, Deloitte, KPMG, and many others like Grant Thornton, PwC. In fact, at ISME, we have all the big fours coming today. So now they are all looking for one thing. They are global companies themselves. They are almost operating in every major country of the world. So they are looking for someone who's globally exposed, because tomorrow they will like to send you to their offices outside India. And now, how do you ensure you are globally exposed? Now, that is where ISME comes in. What we do is, when we are saying international, one, within ISME itself, you're dealing with a lot of faculty who have international backgrounds. Second is that we have a 10-day immersion program in Singapore. And the difference is, many colleges, as you mentioned in the beginning, have these type of things. But the difference in ISME is they are actually living and staying in a campus in Singapore. So there is a very big difference, because there they interact. It's not like some kind of a visit where they are. Yeah, it is like what you call as a gem store, or so here there is a tour where they are actually steady there. They meet up. They are living in the hostels of those campuses. They meet up with students from all across the world, and that was my own experience also. You learn, and of course they also get taught from faculty. There are many workshops, and besides industry tours. So the advantage there is you end up interacting with a lot of students from all across the world. That is the huge advantage you get. You learn from each other. Just like ISME, when students come, they learn from students who come from all across India. And in fact, their representation is there from nearly 25 states of country. What ISME also allows is that they can not only go to the 10-day tour, there is another exchange program that we have, which is from Germany to Germany. And students don't have to pay any fees. They go there, they can spend up to 3 months during the summer. Instead of the internship here, they can do the project work and internship in Germany. They'll be studying there along with German students. And once again, in THWS Germany, it's not only German students, there are students from all across the world and many students from all across Europe. And the learning which happens there is such that when it gets reflected in your resume, it becomes a lot easier to get jobs in these global consulting companies. And so that is where the big difference is, that learning from the peer group of across the world. There is no way you can learn when you are sitting in India. That can happen only when you're going abroad. Unfortunately, most of the programs are very expensive for going abroad. What we have been able to do is, because of our tie-up, we have been able to optimize these costs. There is zero fees involved because of the exchange tie-up, and even our Singapore trip is embedded in the fees. So we have tied up in such a way that we have been able to bring this international experience in a much more affordable cost. Our fees is the same as any other B school. In fact, yes, in fact, our ROI is far better given the kind of placements that we have. So our return of investment is far better. So I don't like to use the word that it is less or more, but the return of investment is much better than any other college. And it is because of everything which a student is getting. In a normal college, you will just go and get education in India. This is a holistic international experience which is there.
Correct. So basically, so it's like, if I try to understand what I understood from my point of view, is like you get a macro level view. And when you talk to peers, it's not just not the formal things, informally as well, evenings when you're going out with them. You understand that. I've lived in England for 5 years. And when I came back, I could feel there's a huge difference between my life standard, where I drive, or sort of driving there.
Absolutely. Right. And you're right. The learning is not only in the classroom, it is outside the classroom. And in fact, it is how the international program is structured. Our programs are structured in a way where they get to spend time with international students, with students from that college. Whereas many of these international programs by many of the other colleges in India, they are just visits where they will still go as an Indian group and spend time with the same group, and they'll just go around like a make my trip plan tour and come back. Ours is not this. Ours is a real immersion, and that real immersion makes the difference.
Correct. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you very much. I wish all your students very, very well. And but I would also like to add one more thing, which we were talking before the thing is Bangalore itself has become very international. If you see within India, Bangalore is the city which has the highest amount of international companies which are there, highest number of international
MNCs, maximum number.
Yeah, the number of expats are the highest.
Correct.
We also in Bangalore have a very cosmopolitan culture where lot of Indians have gone abroad and come back, like me. Right? In fact, where I live, almost 80% of the people where I'm living are of that kind. So many of our guest lectures are by, yes, they are Indians, but they are Indians which are globally exposed. This is not true of many of the cities. Many of the cities, even the corporate people have not ventured too much out of India. So that whole thing about living and studying in Bangalore itself gives a huge advantage. So that is the first level advantage which any college in Bangalore has. But certainly we have been able to use that to our advantage, because that was our focus of being international. But and then of course the international trips apply.
Correct.
So once again, and Bangalore is a great destination. That is what I would like to tell your students.
We're talking about
is-
two kind of exposure. One
Yes.
is from small city to coming to Bangalore.
Absolutely.
And I've talked to a lot of students today, and most of them who are from smaller city.
Yeah.
They're feeling little apprehensive when they came for the first time.
Yes.
How they survive the environment, new city.
Correct.
But Bangalore is very cosmo. You don't feel like
yes.
you are away from the
and very safe also.
Safe,
So unlike a Delhi or some of the northern cities, very safe. We have nearly 50% girls. That is why on our campus, because the
Will be
safety
safer
of
and basically
Bangalore,
from Delhi.
and yes, and exactly, and while every city of India has certain advantages,
Correct.
I think Bangalore has kind of a combined advantage of great weather, lot of safety, very international environment, and that has allowed Bangalore to do so well. Yes, Bangalore is not known good for roads, but that is not important for us because we have the hostel on the campus.
Correct,
So of course there is if you have to travel around Bangalore, it is not that easy. So that is the only one negative thing. But that is not important in student life. In student life, what is important is that, of course, you stay either close to the campus. In our case, they stay in the campus, and this is almost now in the heart of the city. And you have access to all these international companies, and that is the great learning experience. So being in Bangalore, being in ISME, and as a platform, our students are doing extremely well. And that is the reason where I think nearly 80% of our students are joining global companies. So good luck to you, and good luck to your prospective students. Thank you very much. Thank you.